that I would win against Anthony, but here I am with a broken jaw, learning the hard way. I'll heal.
He's going to have the street cred of standing there and say, I went 6 rounds with Joshua. He didn't go 6 rounds with Anthony Joshua. He ran around, he avoided the fight, and then ultimately got clipped. Okay.
Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight is officially over, and the outcome itself wasn't surprising. Anthony Joshua knocked Jake Paul out. What shocked people was everything surrounding it. The hype, the confidence, and the way Jake spoke as if he had discovered a secret formula to defeat a former unified heavyweight champion. For months, Jake repeated the same message everywhere. He claimed he was going to expose Anthony Joshua. He said it on podcasts, interviews, live streams, and across social media. He sounded completely convinced, maybe too convinced.
Well, shit. Didn't think I'd ever have to make one of these videos, but shit happens, I guess. This is still the best job in the world. Thank you all for the support. This was an amazing event, and I'll be back. No worries.
Then reality arrived. Jake Paul did manage to last 6 rounds with Anthony Joshua, and that alone earned him a certain level of respect. Almost nobody expected that. Not fans, not boxing experts, and not even people who usually support Jake.
With a dude like that, bro, you train to play football,
Yep.
you train to do TV, he trains to box.
And so does Jake Paul.
No, Jake Paul started 6 years ago. He slowly got better and better and better, fighting football players, all these guys. But if you boxing, like you gotta gradually grow. If you look at all the best boxers of all time, right? They start off fighting bums, get some confidence, then they start fighting better people. Yo, the brother went from fighting Chavez Jr., left with him, and then he went straight to Anthony Joshua. Bro, real quick,
Yep.
he's a YouTuber slash, I don't know, Disney guy. And for you to take this fight, because 9 times out of 10, anybody in his corner knows, like, yo, bro,
$92 million. Of course he was going to take the fight.
however you want to cut it.
92
What I'm saying is, the brother ain't hurting for no money, so he had to get in his ring. For you to get in the ring with a guy like that, bro, I give you a lot of respect. And for Anthony Joshua to be such a great fighter, you missed a lot from a wide margin. A lot of wild shots he ducked. Yo, if you watch Anthony Joshua, this says more about.
But this fight didn't end with praise for Jake's durability. It ended with boxing analysts explaining how he survived. And that's where the embarrassment really began. According to experts, Jake wasn't fighting to win the match. He was fighting to stay alive.
Yo, come on, bro. Oh my God. No, you gotta go fight.
In the opening bell, Joshua's intention was clear. He came in looking for a fast knockout. AJ was aggressive, powerful, and constantly pressing forward. He wanted to make a statement. But instead of standing his ground like he promised, Jake turned the fight into something else entirely. He moved backward, clinched repeatedly, smothered punches, forced messy exchanges, and slowed the pace whenever possible.
Respect to Jake Paul that we took a few rounds to get going because Jake was moving a lot and holding a lot, and it was difficult to nail him clean, I think. But eventually AJ took his time, cut him off, and smashed him about. And listen, respect to Jake Paul, because that last shot, I know he broke his shattered his jaw, but it would have knocked most heavyweights out. So I've got to give him credit.
I was going to say, in the end, are you pleased with that? Because obviously everyone was saying this has to go early, this, that, and the other. But it's awkward when you've got a fighter who's moving a lot.
We knew he'd move. I didn't expect him to move that much. But listen, he didn't just run. He threw at times. Like, it wasn't, but early on, very difficult to cut the ring off against someone that's moving so much. But also the rustiness of 15 months out, But also, you've got to give Jake credit because, like I said, he took a lot of punishment in there at the end. And the last right hand was a huge right hand. It would have knocked most heavyweights out. So, and also the most pleasing thing, he got 6 rounds with his new team. So, yeah, all in all, great night.
Exactly what boxing experts criticized afterward. This wasn't a high IQ masterclass or a calculated upset attempt. It was damage control. Analysts pointed out that Jake's entire strategy revolved around avoiding clean exchanges with Joshua. Whenever AJ stepped in, Jake tied him up. When combinations came, Jake backed out or collapsed into a clinch. When Joshua tried to work on the inside, Jake leaned and grabbed.
Cornered. I have him exactly where I want. I have the boxing community exactly where I want. And when I beat him next Friday, it's gonna be me, the one that's fucking laughing.
Think about that.
Yep. Once the fight started, there was no blueprint, only survival mode. Reports later revealed that Anthony Joshua broke Jake Paul's jaw during the fight, and suddenly everything made sense. The excessive clinching, the retreating, the defensive mindset. It wasn't just strategy anymore. It was necessity.
This sport has helped me so much in my life. I think my jaw is broken, by the way, so. Yeah. Let's go! It's definitely broke. But, man, that was good. Nice little ass whooping from one of the best to ever do it. So I love this shit, and I'm going to come back and get a world championship belt.
Jake Paul was fighting through a broken jaw against one of the hardest punchers in heavyweight boxing. That doesn't change the final result, but it does add important context. AJ didn't just knock Jake out. He systematically broke him down. Experts reviewing the footage pointed out that Jake never fully committed to his punches. Yes, he landed one clean shot that caught Joshua's attention. And yes, he even won the 5th round, which sounds unbelievable on paper. That moment will forever be part of Jake Paul's boxing history.
That was incredible. In my view, that was a victory on all fronts.
Right.
Like, minus the actual victory, obviously, of course, but bro, like, no one expected him to last 6 rounds with AJ. In my opinion, he won 4 of them. People will argue that he at least won 3. No one expected him to last that long. Rolled his ankle, broke his jaw, still. Like, that's toughness. You know, most people wouldn't have the balls ever to step in a boxing ring in their life. He stepped in a boxing ring with one of the baddest men on the planet, who's 40 pounds heavier than him and 6 inches taller. That's insane. He's one of the most skilled fighters on the planet. My brother, as a fucking YouTuber, went 6 rounds with him in a fight with a broken jaw and rolled ankle. I'm so proud of him. That was just unbelievable.
I saw you talking crap to AJ at one point.
I was trying to get his I think I pissed him off. I was just saying fuck that shit. I love AJ. Yeah. But bro,
I saw you going them.
I was talking so much. But I just pissed him off. Then he broke my brother's jaw. Fuck this guy.
Broke his jaw, huh?
Yeah, his jaw is fucked. You know? He don't care though. Jake's having a fucking blast.
Yeah. We'll see him back again for sure?
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you, Logan.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Appreciate you, brother.
Still, analysts were unhappy with Jake's corner. They later stated that Jake's performance relied more on size than skill, especially considering how much confidence he showed before the fight. Outside of that one strong round, Jake wasn't building toward victory. He wasn't setting traps. He wasn't making adjustments. He was simply buying time, and eventually time ran out.
Keisa, talking about why Jake lost the fight.
I think a great game plan and preparation, unbelievable heart. And the reality is...
Hold on, first off, it wasn't unbelievable heart. He was dancing around, and there's no shame in that. There's no shame in that because we have weight classes for a reason. But it wasn't unbelievable heart, right? It was a good show. It was a great show.
Jake lost because of the size difference, not because of the skill difference. AJ was hanging on that neck, pushing him down. And when you have someone that heavy constantly doing that, it does suck the energy out of you.
So Jake Paul lost because of the skill difference, not the size difference. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to, insult this guy. I'm not. But I'm as a fighter, as a former fighter, as someone that's very experienced in the world of mixed martial arts and combat sports in general, right? This is a crazy...
What made the loss hit harder was the way Jake promoted the fight. He didn't come in as an underdog grateful for the opportunity. He came in talking big. He called Joshua chinny. That confidence raised expectations. And when expectations rise, the fall becomes much louder.
Out of his depth against Anthony Joshua. I think Jake is wild for taking the fight, but I think he does believe he can win. This is a straightforward bank job.
AJ's going in there to destroy him.
The only thing that's a bit harsh is if Anthony Joshua doesn't knock him out in the first round, he should be ashamed of himself. Like, Brian, give us 2. Or
experts said the narrative would have been completely different if Jake had lost while genuinely trying to win, trading punches, taking risks, and standing his ground. Without the constant clinching, he would have been praised for bravery and ambition. Instead, analysts said Jake turned the fight into a clinch-heavy survival mission, neutralizing Joshua's power through avoidance rather than skill. Once AJ began,
knocks out Jake Paul in the 6th round. Let's talk about it. There was nothing about this fight that was too surprising, right? Jake Paul was on the back foot, really trying to avoid the power of Anthony Joshua. It seemed like the game plan from AJ was to allow Jake to tire himself out from that constant movement, because if you've ever been in the ring before, moving around that much is exhausting. It will just tire you out nonstop. You want to know something crazy about this? AJ was delivering some of his biggest punches to Jake while tired, and Jake did not go unconscious at any point. He was not out cold at any point in that fight. He was barely even stumbling on his legs. At one point, he stumbled over his legs, but it looked like he actually injured something in his leg. It didn't look like it was something that Anthony Joshua landed. I might be mistaken there. Also, if this doesn't go to show that Jake Paul's fights aren't rigged, I don't know what will. Like, he gave a very valiant effort. I understand shooting the takedowns and stuff. It was a survival tactic. He was trying to get further into the fight as possible. I understand it, but honestly, like, we all would be doing the exact same thing. If anybody's gonna crap on Jake Paul for the way he fought AJ, just know you would have done so much worse and you would have gassed out in 30 seconds yourself. Honestly, I have all the respect for Jake Paul in the world for taking this fight, and even when he got dropped at the end of the fight and he was like, whoa, like, he wasn't out at any point. His chin is very good. He's very tough. He has a lot of heart, and he's only getting better. I think Jake Paul is really good for the sport, especially after seeing something like this. Like, it's very inspiring to see someone who's been boxing for less than 10 years, around 7-8 years-ish, something like that, and now he's fighting a top 5 heavyweight boxer in Anthony Joshua. Like, it's insane to know what can happen if you believe in yourself and you put in the hard work. And I know people are going to crap on Anthony Joshua, but I guarantee you he was just waiting for Jake Paul to get tired. And not only that, but because he was the bigger, slower guy, he was going to have a hard time landing that punch. It was going to be like a fly in a room. You ever try to swat at a fly? It's just too fast. It's going to be a similar concept here due to the size differential between these two. But it was a good fight nonetheless. We all get a little bit of entertainment, and AJ got a big win, I guess. So
even Joshua's frustration became a talking point. Analysts noticed AJ looked annoyed as the fight dragged on. He wanted a clean, early knockout. He wanted dominance. Jake's tactics forced him to work longer than expected. That frustration didn't mean Jake was winning. It meant Joshua had to dismantle him piece by piece. And that's exactly what he did.
Things that could have happened in the fight. Jake would have either come full steam ahead 100 miles an hour, or Jake would have moved around the ring 100 miles an hour. There's two things I would have done. Tried to shut Jake down at 100 miles an hour, or I would have gone on the back foot. So Jake decided to move around the ring, and I decided to put the pressure on. What I could have done better is a lot of things. 100%. In the fight game, you've seen the amazing fighters that have graced us over the last 100 years, and the expectations that we put on ourselves are immense, but I tried my best. Jake done well while it lasted, but if you remember what I said in the interview with Cameron is, fighting's not just physical, it's psychological. And when you understand the psychological warfare, I did say to you is that, Jake, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna see a time when I'm gonna take your soul and you're either gonna give up or you're gonna get knocked out.
Round by round, Joshua worn down. Heavy shots, constant pressure, and physical dominance. Jake's movement slowed. The clinches became more desperate. By the 6th round, the ending felt inevitable. When a knockout finally came, it wasn't shocking, it felt overdue.
Jake Paul's exhausted. There's a couple of shots from AJ. Sticks his tongue out. Jake Paul sticking his tongue out at him. I mean, he looks like bloody. There's a couple of shots that Jake's just gets dropped here. That's it. Fight's over. What was it, a left hook? I looked at my bloody phone for a split second. Well, that was a bit embarrassing for AJ, if I'm honest. Because Jake Paul, all he was doing was running away and shooting double leg takedowns. The fight is over, and can you believe it? It's crazy. Anthony Joshua won.
That's why experts say this fight exposed something very different than what Jake promised. It didn't expose Anthony Joshua. It exposed the ceiling of Jake Paul's boxing journey. Still, his accomplishments shouldn't be ignored. Going 6 rounds with AJ is wild on paper. Absorbing punches that have stopped elite heavyweights is no small thing. His willingness to step into the ring deserves respect.
For you to get this ring with a dude like that, bro, you train to play football, you train to do TV, he trains to box.
And so does Jake Paul.
No, Jake Paul started 6 years ago. He slowly got better and better and better, fighting football players, all these guys. But if you boxing, like you gotta gradually grow. If you look at all the best boxers of all time, right? They start off fighting bums, get some confidence, then they start fighting better people. Yo, the brother went from fighting Chavez Jr., left with him, and then he went straight to Anthony Joshua. But hold on, real quick, he's a YouTuber slash, I don't know, Disney guy. And for you to take this fight, because 9 times out of 10, anybody in his corner knows, like, yo, bro,
$92 million. Of course he was going to take the fight.
However you want to cut it.
92
What I'm saying is, the brother ain't hurting for no money, so he had to get in his ring. For you to get in the ring with a guy like that, bro, I give you a lot of respect. And for Anthony Joshua to be such a great fighter, you missed a lot from a wide margin. A lot of wild shots he ducked. Yo, if you watch Anthony Joshua, this says more about
Toughness alone doesn't win fights at this level. Analysts made it clear that once the physical, experience, and skill gaps fully showed themselves, Jake had no backup plan. He couldn't outbox Joshua, he couldn't overpower him, and he couldn't survive forever. The humiliation isn't about losing, it's about the contrast. Jake talked like someone ready to shock the world, but fought like someone trying not to get stopped early. In hindsight, experts now say all those training clips and calculated combinations may have helped him survive, but they never brought him close to winning.
Knock him out? Yeah, 100%. I see holes in his game where I can land a big shot. Okay. 100%. It's going to be a very, 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 very tough fight.
Do you think this is your hardest opponent?
Yeah, by far.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, I'm just outgunned in every category.
At the end of the day, experts aren't saying Jake should be embarrassed for stepping up. They're saying he embarrassed himself by overselling something he wasn't ready to deliver. If he had presented this fight as a test, a challenge to measure his level, the respect would have been.
Jake Paul would win. Honestly, I don't know what I thought, but I just didn't expect for it to go down like that. That shit was like a joke almost. Like, that was just like funny. It was just crazy.
So you don't think it was a real fight?
Nah, I think it was more for entertainment. He's a good entertainer, you know. That's just who he is since he was young. So
What should Jake Paul do next? Should he carry on fighting in professional boxing?
No, stick with YouTube. Quit boxing immediately and stick with YouTube.
He got 40 million for it. He got 40 million for it.
Should Jake Paul retire?
No, Jake Paul gotta keep going.
Still, this fight permanently changes Jake Paul's legacy. Not because he lost, but because he proved he belongs somewhere in the boxing conversation, just not at the level he claimed. 6 rounds with Anthony Joshua is no joke.
He's done really well tonight. I want to give him his props. He got up time and time again. It was difficult in there for him, but he kept on trying to find a way. It takes a real man to do that. Anyone who laces up these gloves, we always say we give them their respect. We have to give Jake his respect for trying and trying and trying. Well done. But he came up against a real fighter tonight that's had a 15-month layoff. We shook off the cobwebs, and I can't wait to roll into 2020.
All for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Share your thoughts in the comments, and we'll catch you in the next one.